Hello and welcome to Live 605. I'm your host, Kierkegaardian, aka Shave the Man. And speaking of Shave the Man, that's where else you can watch this live stream. Yes, I'm streaming to YouTube, the Shave the Man channel on YouTube, because people have been asking, Con, where are you? Are you still around? Are you alive and well and kicking? And my answer is an emphatic yes. All the vital signs are there. I'm here. And I'm glad that you're here as well. So, if you're watching us on YouTube, a big hello and a thank you. You can be watching us on YouTube through the Whisker TV channel, YouTube through the Shave the Man channel, and of course on Facebook, which is where a lot of you have chosen to consume this content. Speaking of consuming content, I've got an interesting show for you this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you may be. It's a topic that I hold near and dear to my heart, I have to say, and as these lives evolve and progress, you get a chance to find out a little bit about yours truly and what we do at the Stray Whisker, but also a little bit more about what the sort of things, the sort of interests that I have outside of the world of shaving. Although I do feel that shaving and grooming and looking after oneself are of paramount importance, very, very important, in fact. A big hello to those that have joined the live. Billy Goat Brushworks, Kalispera. Well, Kalispera. I won't call you Billy Goat. It's not really very nice to call you Billy Goat, but Kalispera, which means good evening. That's in the Hellenic language. Who else have we got on there? We've got, I think, Dave has joined us as well. I thought Dave wasn't joining us tonight, but he's made the effort and therefore has avoided bringing in either a late note or an absentee note. Thank you very much for that, Dave, and all of you that are watching. If you are watching and you're new, please put new down below. That lets me know who's new to the show. I have decided not to stream this into any groups because, Facebook is quite funny about all of that. I don't know what it is. Groups are a thing that have different settings, like private settings, or, there could be a private group or a secret group. And so you have to give permission, and I'm sick of giving permission. Stathi, greetings and salutations, kind sir. Thank you for joining in this evening again. Thank you for giving up what is essentially half an hour of one's life that you'll never get back. But again, I mean, there might be other things that you could be doing at this time. The world is a very interesting place at the moment, so maybe this is some sort of departure from all the challenges that we have on a global scale. I hope that you're all well, and I hope that you continue to be well as we discuss a bit of a dichotomy, a crossroads that one comes into, either as a consumer, whether you're getting into a new hobby or whether you're going into a store to purchase something, or just life, even if you're thinking about your relationships. Even that will bring about a certain level of angst, and it shouldn't, but sometimes it does. George Stavros, parent-teacher interviews. Nice of you to join us on the live. There is high yield on this half an hour. Yes, it's all about the yield. That's right. Thank you, Stathi. That reference wasn't lost on me. G'day, Stephen. Mr. and Mrs. Carter tuning in again. That's very nice of you to do that. Thank you. I hope that this is in some way not causing any friction between the two of you, but bringing you closer together. Not that you need to be closer together in any way. That's what it is. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, tonight, this evening, in this particular live, we're going to explore a Kierkegaardian philosophical concept. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of, I'm going to give you the English pronunciation, and then I'll give you the pronunciation in Danish, the best of my ability. Søren Kierkegaard, or as the Danes would say, Søren Kierkegaard. Right? You drop the R's, you drop the D's, they're kind of silent, and it becomes a Kierkegaard. It becomes this thing. Anyway, if there's any people from Denmark here, please let us know. He's the father of existentialism as we know it, but also philosophy in Denmark. And so the people, the Danes, are very, very proud of him, and so they should be. This quandary of either or, we'll look at that. And we've all been through this at some point or another, particularly when it comes to making our minds up about choices that we make, to buy certain products, or whether to accept a job a job if we've been given a job after a job interview, whether to purchase this vehicle or that, whether to live in a certain area or not live there. We have this sort of either or. I know for those purists and philosophy students that Søren wasn't quite referring to this. There were ethical and aesthetic considerations in his wonderful work, which I do recommend you read, called Either Or. This is my particular copy. You can get in Penguin does a wonderful translation as well by George Stengren, which is very, very accessible. Søren wrote in a pseudonym. He used different names. He would write as Johann Climacus, or A or B. He would just use different pseudonyms to bring and drive home certain philosophical points. Okay, stop the gas bagging, Con, and let's get down to it. Either or. What does this mean? Well, I think the best way for me to introduce that to you is to basically show you one of my favourite quotes. And I quote, "I see it all perfectly. There are two possible situations. One can either do this or that. My honest opinion and my friendly advice is this: do it or do not do it. You will regret both." What on earth did Søren mean by this? What did he mean? Do it or don't do it and you'll regret both. Well, if I'm to apply it to what we do here, there are two types of people that we come into contact with, and that is people that either sort of feel that they might have regrets if they get into this hobby or into this way of shaving, and they'll think, I don't know whether I'm going to do this, it's going to cost me a lot of money or whatever. And people that have regrets that they didn't get into it earlier. That's right. Whichever way you look at it, you're going to have regrets. Whichever decision you make in life, you will have regrets. Tony, do or do not, there is no try. Absolutely. I love it. Nice to see you on the live, Tony, as well. So you're going to have regrets. So we have to deal with those regrets, okay? We have to deal with them. And although regrets sound kind of negative and bring about this kind of feeling of, why did I get into this? I'm going to use shaving as an example for obvious reasons, because most of our friends here are either new to shaving or coming into shaving or want to hear about shaving. My personal regret was that I didn't get into it earlier, and I didn't listen to those that were older than me that were telling me that this was a great way of shaving. I thought I knew best. I knew it all, right? I knew it all. I couldn't be spoken to or lectured to. I knew it all. So I regret not getting into this earlier. And what is this? Shaving using traditional wet shaving methods and so on. So at some point, ladies and gentlemen, something happens. You reach a point where you have to take a leap of faith. So on one side of the cliff is what we are, and on the other side is what we want to be, or what we want our experiences to be, right? You can apply this across all levels in life. It's not just a shaving thing. But you have to make the jump. You have to take that leap of faith. Of course, Kierkegaard was referring to an existential leap of faith. Look, he wasn't the happiest of people, I have to admit, but he had some very, very interesting things to say. Let us know if you felt that you had to make a leap of faith. Let us know. I'd be very interested to hear your questions on how you came across to this way of shaving, or how you discovered wet shaving for the very first time. Might not even be about wet shaving. It might not even be about wet shaving. It could be about anything. But it's a very, very interesting thing. The point is this. Because Kierkegaard was one of the fathers of existentialism, without getting too technical, basically says that you live your life, you're living the project that you have control over, okay? Your life is a project, and you make decisions, and those decisions will affect you, and only you. You make those decisions, and your essence, who you are, becomes manifest as you live your life. Now, that's a lot for a Wednesday night, I know. I'm kind of sorry, not sorry. But think about this. The decisions you make go towards forming you as an individual, as a person, and the decisions, will have their ramifications. But the onus is on you, okay? So it puts responsibility into your hands. We have a few questions. There was one that was, I believe, Paul. I don't know whether he's with us or whether because he said he may not be. He's heading home to the valley, listening in the car. Okay, Paul, well, thank you for sending your question. I'll actually put it up now so our friends can see it. So Paul asked this question earlier on Facebook. Not sure if I'll make it to the live. Thank you, Paul. Okay, so let's get to the question. I don't want to go through all the other stuff. Can I ask you a question before? And yes, you can. Keeping with the leap of faith theme, do you find that people will do their homework before they come to you? That is, seek out product reviews, pricing guides, etc., or just take your advice? I was one of the latter. Okay. It's an interesting one. Look, there are some people that come well-versed and have researched the topic themselves, and why wouldn't you? You're only a search away. Just type in and find, what you think will work for you. Research the topic, and I'm finding increasingly, if this question was asked of me 5 years ago, I would probably say there's a 50-50 split. People just come in and they discover this stuff and they want to know about it. And there's another 50% or so, roughly, that have already done their research. Now, I have to say there are more people that are doing research, that are looking into things, that are reading reviews, that are going down that rabbit hole. In fact, there was a gentleman that came in last week, and he said that he was only new to this. But when he came here, he was well-versed in all sorts of things, not just wet shaving, but also some of the cultural things that happen within the wet shaving community. So he was aware of the development of certain companies. He was aware of, all the trials and tribulations that certain artisans that shall remain nameless went through. Well-versed. But my question to him was, did it make any difference to you? And I'm pleased to report that he said, no, couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. What I read and what I saw and whatever, couldn't care less. He was able to discern and cut through all the fluff and flannel and smoke and mirrors and all the rest of it and just say, no, as long as the product works for me, I don't care. Okay. So some people do research and others just happen to discover. Whichever way you came to this, this way of looking after your beard or or shaving your legs or your face or whatever it is immaterial. Okay, what's important is that you took that leap and said, I'm going to try something. Yesterday I had this lovely young lady come in, and she had stated that she was watching the lives, and she said, Con, I want the works. I said, slow down, please. No, let's just change one. No, I want the works. I said, okay, well, let's talk through the works. Let me show you what this involves. And by the end of it, she wanted the works with extra cheese and pineapple, right? So that's what happened there, all right? Here I was trying to show great restraint on her part, okay? I said, you don't need to do anything. Just change one thing. Change the razor. That's it. Just change your razor, and that's it. Oh, no. I like the look of that soap. I like how that smells. I demonstrated a lather. Oh, I like that. Maybe I need a brush as well. Next thing you know, out the door with all of that. So she took a leap of faith. She might hate it. It might actually be dangerous for her. I don't know. And by dangerous, I mean she could raise her game to the next level. Who knows? This could open up all sorts of opportunities. You don't know. Anyway, but that's what happened. She took the leap. And it was incredible. Dave James, other fine analysis rabbit hole in Donald Street. Yes, you found the rabbit hole in Donald Street in our former home in Lithgow. Tony, I agree with you. You've got to have extra cheese. But I don't want to get into the pineapple thing, okay? Some people hate pineapple on their pizzas and whatever, others don't. I was referring to a pizza there. Clinton. Hello, Clinton. Glad you're back. It's nice to be back, Clinton. Where is he? There he is. There, that's him. Hi, Clinton. Nice to see you on the live. Christine Slattery. Hi, Christine. Wow. It's nice to see you on the live as well. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know people's time is of a premium, and so, I'll just try and bring the gas bagging and all the rest of it down. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you've got to consider things and say, now, if I do this, if I take this on, or if I take this activity on, or if I take this business on, if I purchase this product, I might regret doing so, but I also might regret not having done it earlier. The point is, it doesn't really matter, okay? It's immaterial. If it works for you, that's great. And I don't mean things not working and you're flipping them on buy, sell, and trade groups, and that's a separate thing. I mean, that is a hobby and an illness in and of itself, okay? And I get that. I totally get it. But I guess what I mean by the leap of faith is to try and, it's got to bring up some sort of change in your life. Now, this is ridiculous. Here I am talking about something silly like shaving, but it actually has very, very important implications for your life, okay? Yeah, it does. It does. Because it will open up other areas that you will explore in your life. You might look at the way you dress. You might look at how you carry yourself at work. For those of you that go into a workplace and aren't working at home in your sweatpants or whatever, it will bring about some very important attributes. Matt, yes, count the value, not the cost. Absolutely. And there's a whole debate about this whole thing about price and value not being the same thing at all. Always look at value, not the cost. The cost is really a nonsense. I mean, obviously you need to know how much something costs so you can hand over the legal tender for that product. It's the value that has the enduring effect and that will help you. And I think that's very, very important. I also think it's important that you share those values with younger people, or with people that even maybe not so younger people. Share those values with it. And I'm not just talking about shaving. I'm talking about all sorts, everything. If you've got someone that's just started a job in your new workplace, go over and introduce yourself. If you see that they're new, go up and say, look, I don't believe we've met. My name is Con. How are you going? That will open up a whole world for them. It'll build confidence, both for yourself and for the person. It will make that leap of faith for them a little less arduous. It won't be a chore. It won't be something that people feel, is this sort of insurmountable thing. In other words, it'll just make things a little bit easier. If it makes things a little bit easier, hopefully your workplace or your relationships or whatever the case may be, your business will improve. Abby, hello. Such a good topic. Yes, thank you. Thanks for joining in, Abby. Look, it's an interesting topic because we all have some sort of resistance to things, right? The natural reaction is to resist things. I'm resisting things on the phone all the time. Hello, sir, I'd like to sell you solar panels. Hello, sir, have you considered changing the telecommunications company? Right? There's resistance for everything. The default position is one of survival. This person's trying to flog product, or they're too salesy, they're too pushy. My thing is defenses go up, okay? But what if that product or that service or that relationship or that opportunity was something that you may come to regret later on? I don't know. It's a tricky one, okay? Obviously, there are risk profiles. Some people are very averse to risks. And I'm not talking about purchasing a house here. It could be that. But even smaller things, even those smaller incremental things that happen in our life, you've got to take that leap. You've got to go to the next level. And please help other people around you to do that. I think it's critical. I think it's vital to reach out and do that. Why? Not only will it benefit them, but they will then benefit and help others. in this community and in communities all over, whether you're doing paper mache, basket weaving, jewelry making, doesn't matter what you're into, doesn't matter what groups you're in, doesn't matter whether you're into business groups or real estate, whatever it is, this notion of paying something forward works. It's a thing. It's a real thing. Help others as you were helped, hopefully. And even if you weren't helped by anyone, even if people turn their back on you, you start the chain. You start it. You're the first link. Help others to discover these sorts of things. It sounds like a sermon, I know. It's not. I'm not intending it to be a sermon, but I just think that it's very important because I think an enormous amount of opportunities will open themselves up to you. Now, and that, of course, will have other knock-on effects, which are very, very important. What have we got on the line? Okay, that's what happened with my yoga program. Value certainly outweighed the cost. Absolutely, every time. Look at value. Forget cost. Forget cost. And for my business friends out there, you don't need to mention price or cost. Just mention the value to the customer. Tell the customer how much value you'll bring to their life. That's the most important thing. $10 for me might be an insurmountable amount when it comes to purchasing, I don't know, some little thing. But for somebody else, I say, $10 is nothing. They sneeze and $50 come out of their wallet. It's everyone's different. But value, that cannot have a price attributed to it. It is, I believe this with every single cell in my body, okay? Value is much, much more important, and you'll hear this time and time again. I'm not Gary V, right? I'm not trying to sort of, jump up and down and get into this thing and get you to think about it. But one thing you must think about is that if you bring value to others, it'll bring value to your life. And that can only be a good thing. Whether it's shaving, cosmetics, business, relationships, whatever it is, okay? Look to do that. And this pay it forward thing, this piffing thing, the pay it forward thing, it works. It's real, okay? I'm paying something forward today. Now, I haven't thought about explicitly what it might be, but I know there are 3 or 4 or 5 people in my life that touched me in such a way that brought this out in me, right? And I now want to do it with you, and you can do it with others, okay? That's it. Nothing to sell here. That is it. That's all I wanted to share with you this evening. Stuthi, as cliche as it sounds, your vibe attracts your tribe. Success begets success. Yeah, look, I think so. I think so. Yeah, look, and there's so much stuff there's so much stuff online at the moment. And I know that everyone goes, yeah, let's get all positive. And no, I'm sorry, I don't feel positive today. I feel terrible today, right? Why do I have to be positive? That's fine. If you feel terrible today, that's actually really, really good. You own it, you move on. That's it. Get over it and move on. The next day, you've got something else to look forward to. It's hard, I know, to execute sometimes, but you've just got to be there. You've just got to keep fronting up and doing it day in, day out, day in, day out. Help others as much as you can, please, people. That's all I really wanted to say tonight. And this either or choice, you either do it or you don't. You'll regret both choices, right? You will. That's the conundrum here. This is the Kierkegaardian conundrum that I've appropriated slightly, of course, because Kierkegaard talks about, for example, here's an interesting example, and this is in this book, by the way. He would receive a letter and not open it for 3 days, right? Because he wanted to build an anticipation of what was in the letter. Okay. Now, of course, if you don't open a letter for 3 days today, it may be an electricity bill or something, right? I'm not suggesting you do that, but I understand what he's doing in that instance. So a letter would come. He wanted to open that letter because, of course, it was addressed to him, and he knew who the sender was. But he deliberately said, "No, I'm just going to hold off on that." And he built up this anticipation. That's one of the gems in the Either Or book. He also talks about seduction, which is another topic, but I have to sort of make this rated MA 15. Actually, I'd have to probably say rated R. Is this video for kids? They ask you now. YouTube says, is this video for kids? No, especially if I go into the seducer's diary. Anyway, some fun stuff there with Søren Kierkegaard. If you're that way inclined, have a look at it. It's very interesting. Read. That's the other thing. People, please read. Doesn't matter what you read. Even 10 minutes, read a book. Read. I cannot stress how important that is for your own professional and personal and interpersonal relationships. It is so important. And we've got all these distractions in our life, including this. This is a distraction. I know. You could be doing you could be reading. But no, you're watching me, aren't you? Yeah. Yes. No. Even if you're reading for 10 minutes, read. Hopefully you'll be reading for more than 10 minutes, but set some time aside for yourself and try and provide value in other people's life. That's all I have to say. See? Didn't mention razor blades, didn't mention soaps, didn't mention brushes, didn't mention anything else. Thank you. Peter, you're a naughty boy. I don't want to put that comment up. That's disgusting. This is a family show. Very, very... oh, dear. But thank you anyway for your roundabout compliment. You naughty boy. Thank you to those of you that have tuned in. Thank you to all the new people that tuned in. I try and keep these under 30 minutes. I don't want to go for a bum-numbing 4 hours or 3 hours or something like that. But I just think that it's important. 30 minutes is about enough. Con the R-rated superstar. Yeah, I don't know about that, Paul. But thank you for your vote of confidence. If in fact it was a vote of confidence and you weren't being facetious. Thank you. Thank you to all that tuned in. I really appreciate it. As I said, these lives are evolving into something. I'm not quite sure what. I will talk about, products and things as well. But as I said, no affiliate links, no do this, no do that. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to subscribe, great. If you want to unsubscribe, that's even greater for you because you now know what you want, the either or, the regret of doing both. Okay, you'll regret doing, here it is, you'll regret doing both things. If you subscribe to this channel on YouTube, you'll regret it. You'll regret that you didn't do it earlier, or you might regret that, you've missed out on something. Alex Evangelidis, good day, mate. Oh, Alex, now there's a champion. A man I hold near and dear to my heart. Yes, I hold men near and dear to my heart, and Alex is one of them. Thanks for tuning in, champion. You're a good friend, and I really appreciate it. And I know that you've taken your time out to do that. Thank you. Thanks, folks. We'll see you in the next live. In the meantime, as I said, if you want to subscribe to all that sort of stuff and do that, that's fine. If you don't, I get it. You probably subscribe to other things, whatever. But I think you'll be missing out. Yeah, I think you'll be missing out. Anyway, love you and leave you. We'll see you.